Imagine the following scenario. It's a beautiful summer day. Sun is up, it's all green, and you're out biking, just having a good time by yourself, taking in the nature, and suddenly you hear a loud honk from behind you. Or how about this one? You do a presentation at work, but it doesn't go very well. The feedback that you get from your coworkers or from your boss is not what you expected it to be. I don't know about you, but situations like this used to completely throw me off center. I would immediately personalize them and ruminate for hours, engaging in all sorts of stories which are not empowering at all. If this is something that you can relate to, I think the technique that I am going to share with you guys in this video, you would find it super helpful. So without further delay, let's dive in. Dr. David Hawkins, in his book Letting Go, introduces the radical notion that thoughts follow feelings. So feelings are the primary felt sense. He refers to thoughts as justification of the mind for the presence of a certain feeling. Now this is very important because when we are faced with these situations that are not so ideal, what happens is we tense up. Our nervous system gets flooded with these stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which in turn launches a cascade of negative thoughts that keeps us stuck for hours. But I don't want you to be stuck. I want you to be like the Buddha. And as spiritual philosopher Alan Watts have famously said, a Buddha is never stuck. This is where this brilliant technique from Michael Singer comes in. It's called relax and release. And for those of you who don't know who Michael Singer is, he is a famous author known for the bestseller called The Untethered Soul. As a spiritual teacher, he's definitely an interesting person because he's also very materially successful. I think he has built his own multi-million-dollar business and is also a professor at some university in the US that I can't remember the name of from the top of my head right now. So what is relax and release? Well, it's not that complicated. Something happens out there in the world, like a car honking, your colleagues not responding very well to your presentation, whatever it is. Or, to use a modern psychological term, a trigger occurs, and what happens is we tense up, and the tension manifests as tightness in the body. Now, what Michael suggests with this technique is that we relax in the face of that tension. So let's say if you're tensing up from the shoulder, like I used to all the time, like this, you just drop your shoulders. Or maybe you're tensing up from your chest, then you just breathe into it. Do a body scan to see where the tightness is in your body, and the very act of paying attention to the tightness oftentimes relaxes them. Remember the idea from David Hawkins that thoughts are justification of the mind for the feelings felt? So now that your body is relaxed, your mind is like, wow, this doesn't feel that bad anymore. Maybe I don't need to launch a storyline as to how the world's gonna end and everything sucks and how our effort is not gonna amount to anything. So the mind starts relaxing. And when that happens, our good old friend wisdom can pay us a visit, and now we can respond to the situation at hand in a much more meaningful and strategic manner. I have been practicing this technique for about a year now, and it has had a tremendous impact on my well-being, starting from my sleep to all the way to my social life. However, in this video, I'm gonna use my sleep as an example as to how I have used this technique to better my quality of sleep. I used to have severe insomnia. So the issue with my insomnia was, so I used to wake up in the middle of the night and wouldn't be able to go back to sleep. So what is happening was I dread not going back to sleep, and my mind would start telling a story around how the next day is going to be miserable and I'm not gonna be able to perform at work. And that would trigger a stress response, which would then keep me up, and I would have nights, days at a time without sleep or very little sleep. Since I started practicing this technique, I brought in a very different approach. I would just have a shower, eat some comfort food, which would then relax my body, and then I would tell myself, like, if I don't sleep, I don't sleep. But since I'm up now, I might as well have a good time. and then do whatever I felt like doing. Maybe play the guitar, maybe watch some comedy, maybe watch a movie that I was very excited to watch. And then sure enough, after some time has passed, I would get very tired and eventually fall asleep. Now sure, this wasn't happening at my beck and call. Like if I woke up at 4 in the morning, I wouldn't be able to make myself fall asleep at 4:30 at the snip of a finger. But eventually I would be able to get some sleep. Maybe I would go back to sleep at 6 in the morning and I would be able to sleep till 9, which was a lot better than not getting any sleep at all. And then the whole day getting anxiety about how the next night is going to be another terrible one. Again, pay attention to how the problem was fixed. Instead of engaging in the narrative in my mind, I was tapping into this technique of relaxing and releasing by taking a hot shower, eating comfort food, and then just telling myself like, hey, if I don't get some sleep, it's okay. Which in turn would relax my nervous system and I would just go about doing my thing. And then eventually sleep will happen by itself. So to sum it up, here is the technique. Something triggering happens out in the world and we start tensing in the face of it. And the tension manifests as tightness in the body, and what we want to do is relax in the face of that tightness. And there are many ways we can go about doing that. Sometimes it involves taking a hot shower, it could involve doing yoga, sometimes doing deep breathing, or sometimes doing a body scan meditation to see where the tightness is. And the very act of paying attention relaxes the tension. And then you eventually want to go to this place where it just feels nice. It's like, feels so good. And then stay there, and from there, we will strategically and meaningfully engage in the situation. So that was it for the day, guys. I hope you find this helpful. If you do, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And now that I'm done with this video, I'm gonna do some good old-fashioned relax and release. See you in the next video.